Hi, I'm Younès Rabii, and we're here for our last interview of FDG TV, and as you can see, I'm very tired. But right now, we're with Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hello.
So, Rachel, is this your first time in Lisbon?
It is. First time in Lisbon and first FDG in person.
Interesting. Did you have a good time for now?
I did. I had an excellent time.
Great. You have a paper in the Doctoral Consortium named Challenging Assumptions and Fostering Reflection in Physical Puzzle Games. Can you tell us a bit more about what's in that paper and what's your research about?
Sure. So I come from a background of working in escape games for about 3 years on 15-plus-ish games. And from that, I saw that there was a lot of potential with the medium that maybe wasn't being realized. So that kind of led me on this journey, which is currently in PhD phase of journey, where I'm looking at the potential of physical puzzle games and puzzles specifically as a means to challenge people's assumptions, and also designing for reflection to cement any kind of learning objective that people might have with designing these games.
Interesting. And what kind of learning objectives do you think you'd like to tackle? Is that things around social justice or education? What are the topics you're interested in?
Yeah, definitely around social justice. And do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, I would love to. Please go on.
Cool.
Please tell me.
So I recently worked on a game with 2 of my colleagues about developing or trying to help people develop queer understandings of history and kind of introduce queer history concepts through a puzzle game. So I had the background in game design. They have background in queer theory and queer archival methods. So we wanted to see if we could kind of challenge these conventional understandings of history and introduce concepts of queer understandings of history through play.
Fascinating. And what kind of projects would you like to do in the next years, hopefully? Because you're at the beginning of your PhD project. So what's your next step, the immediate next step?
So for the game that I just mentioned is called Red Redacted Theater, and we ran essentially what was a prototype of it so far. We have a couple, essentially with that game we want to guide people from essentially knowing nothing about queer history to these kind of deeper levels of knowledge. And so there's kind of a whole nother layer that we didn't get to yet. So one of the next steps would be to finish designing that layer to it, and then hopefully get more people to play and see if it's doing what we would like it to do. And I'm also potentially working with a leadership coaching group to design an escape game for coaching leadership skills, which involves this concept of putting people in a productive area of discomfort, which I think kind of fits in with this notion of challenging assumptions and getting people to kind of reflect on the way that they move and think about the world around them.
This is fascinating. I'm so glad to know that hopefully you'll join the community of FDG. Your paper was in the Doctoral Consortium, and we had earlier a session with mentoring. How did that go? Did you find useful to have mentoring from other researchers?
Yeah, it was. I think it went really well overall. I got a lot of really good feedback. There was a lot of encouragement for me to better identify what motivates me to do things. I think sometimes, and it seems like maybe this is a challenge for other people as well, thinking about what does the community think of as evidence, which I think is a valid question to be asking, but then also remembering, why am I doing this? What motivates me? And kind of recentering in that way, which I think I needed at that time, and people helped me remember.
Well, I'm so glad for you.
Thanks.
And I'm so glad you were here with us today for this interview.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It was Rachel Donley. Thank you so much for watching FDG TV. See you soon.